All right, hello. Uh, I would like to analyze my own game from the Finnish chess first division league game that I had against Patola this Saturday. I was playing with the white pieces, and my opponent is just over 1800 in Finnish Elo and Elo Fide Elo as well. So a bit stronger player than I am at the moment, at least in the numbers. I was expecting this opponent since my chess colleague Hannu Heino had had a good good guess that I might be playing against Eero, so I knew to prepare against him. So I played the e4. He plays d5, which was expected as well, and I knew he would play this knight f6 move, so everything was okay. I played bishop to b5 check. Also, I was prepared, and he was blocking with the bishop. I played bishop to c4 to protect his pawn, and now the knight cannot take since the bishop is blocking the queen's attack on the pawn. So makes sense. He strikes with b5 to try to kick my bishop away, but I will just keep the bishop on this diagonal to protect the pawn. He plays bishop to g4, attacking my queen, and at the same time opening up his queen to attack this pawn and win it back. Normal developing move, not caring about this pawn, since oftentimes you have to give it up anyways. You're not just going to be pawn up from the opening, otherwise no one would play the Scandinavian defense. So knight to f3, and this move I found a little bit weird already, because it's blocking the queen, and now the knight is no longer, the knight cannot take this pawn anymore, and it's also, I'm not sure if it's the best place for the knight. Maybe he's aiming to go here to try to win the pawn, but he could have taken it anyways. So I think he's just wasting time. So here I play d4, stopping his knight coming in and putting pressure on my knight. That's fine. And the engine is saying to play queen to d3 to attack this pawn, but I decided to go for this active plan with my kingside pawns to try to kick away the bishop and possibly even trap it later on. Bishop to g5, and now I jumped in with the knight, already attacking the bishop and trying to trap it with h4 and h5. So now he takes with my pawn. I was a little bit surprised that he took with the f knight instead of the b knight, because the b knight is uh, already badly placed, so it would improve if he comes here. So I just continued my plan to trap the bishop. Now if I manage to play h5, this is the only square for the bishop, and then I can play f3, and the bishop is trapped. This is normal. You will see this quite often in Karo Khan, the same plans against the bishop. So he plays h5, which stops me playing from h5. Makes sense. Also, he maybe could have played f6, but it didn't look natural since I would be taking the pawn and the bishop, and in that way, I will take the bishop anyways. But I think that's an engine line. It looked a bit unnatural, and h5 is more natural, so I think it's okay. Here, I didn't even consider to play c4 because it just didn't cross my mind. I was calculating queen f3, putting pressure on the knight and this pawn and so on. But I decided I should just take the bishop, and then I will fork these pawns. And I continued to play like this. Here I was calculating a little bit if I should play g5 to lock these pawns, but I thought it's maybe a little bit too slow. Also, maybe play the bishop to g5 to stop him playing and releasing the bishop and advancing these pawns. But I played queen to d3. It attacks both of these pawns with check, since the king is in this diagonal or in this place. So it's a good move. He played queen to d6, which I think was one of the best moves and only moves to not lose immediately. It protects this pawn, and now if I take this pawn, he will play c6 to kick out my queen with tempo. So of course I take the pawn. It's a free pawn, and he plays c6 as I calculated. But I had already before capturing this b5 pawn, I had decided that okay, if he plays c6, I will just go back and attack and still attack this pawn. But maybe better was to go to e2. Uh, just protecting this pawn, it makes total sense. So this is a little bit an inaccuracy to go back here. But anyways, I still have good position. I'm up a pawn. Opponent's pieces are not really playing at all. I have a strong bishop attacking here, pressure on here. I have bishop coming in, and idea is to play b4, b5. He goes check, which I didn't see in the game, and it's a little bit sad, but that's why queen to e2 was maybe better to block this check. But okay, options here are block with the queen, go to maybe an endgame. If it takes, I take. He takes. He has tripled hamburger pawns here, and pawns are even, but I have much better position since these pieces are not really playing, and I will get some tempo on the pieces, and I have the bishop pair, etc. So endgame was maybe one option. The other option is to block with the bishop. He takes, I take, and he still takes the pawn, which I didn't like, and I also like to keep the queens in the game because his king is still in the center, and these light squares are quite weak. So I decided to move king to f1. I didn't see any immediate dangers, and now if he takes with the queen, I will get rook to g1 and attack this pawn. And he takes with the queen. I played rook to g1 as planned, and he took on h4, which actually surprised me a lot. I thought that this is impossible and he will just lose this game quickly. Since I will get bishop to g5 developing with tempo, and then I will take this pawn. The queen is actually almost trapped. He has only one square, and that's an h2, and it's not very active square. So I was happy that he had to go there, and then I just take the pawn with check. Now he cannot go here because I would capture the pawn, so he needs to come out with the king to protect c5, c6. And here I was thinking, what should I play, and how to win this game immediately, but I couldn't find any immediate wins, and I couldn't find a way to trap this queen. So I decided to go for the c4 plan, because this knight doesn't have too many squares to go to. The knight cannot come here, because I will have check and I will pick up the knight for free. So I went h4, c4. He checked me first. I decided to go on e3, e1. I don't know if what's big difference between these squares, but just moving out. I didn't see he doesn't have any other checks, so I thought this would be fine. He went queen to b4, which was I was a little bit surprised about by this, but I found it actually a little bit annoying because now he has this check, and there are some weaknesses in my camp as well, and the queen and knight can make some. They can be a little bit annoying, and I really have to be careful not to blunder this position. I still have good advantage, and I wasn't scared at all. I just need to be careful. His pieces are so passive, this knight, rook, bishop, and the other rook, that I'm not really scared about for my king. If we compare his king, my bishop is cutting through, and I'm coming in. He's the one in trouble, not me. So I wasn't scared at all. I played king d2, stopping the knight coming in, because now I have the queen and king protecting the squares, and he doesn't have really any checks at the moment, so I should be fine. He went for the queen trade, and now I thought that this end game should be completely winning. I don't have any places for my queen to go, so I will have to trade the queens, which wasn't originally what I wanted, but I thought I would win this end game easily, and that's just it's never easy. It's never easy. So the other option, if I don't want to take the queen immediately, is to move my bishop somewhere, like here, and when he takes, I take with the rook. But the reason why I took the queen was to get the king on the e6 square under the radar of my bishop, and that was the whole point. When he takes, I will have these ideas to play c5 with check, c5 with check to take the knight. This doesn't work at the moment because the knight can, if I go c5, he can still put it there. It's protected. Anyways, took. I played a3 just to kick this knight off. It doesn't have any other square than the a6, which is a bad square, I think, for the knight on the rim. I developed the knight, no rush. He goes for rook to d8, just attacking this pawn, and I can't really push it forwards at the moment, or I don't want to because it opens up squares for the knight. So I decided to check. He doesn't have too many options for the king. If he comes in here, this should be just, I think, mate in one. Yes. So that's not good. And going here is maybe the best, but I thought I would just bring in the attack this first and then bring the bishop, and I have the bishop pair attacking and the rooks. It would be just devastating. I was a little bit shocked that he went here because now he's still under the radar of my bishop. So find it weird. And at this moment, I think I had like 10 minutes think. I was trying to find some winning ideas and tactics and stuff like that. And the best idea I came up with is I will just try to win this pawn. And how I do it is I go c5 check. He has to block with the knight, otherwise I takes knight to d5. I take with the knight. He has to take with the pawn, and then I'm gonna pile up on the d5 pawn with rook to e5. And when he protects the pawn, I will attack this pawn because now it's pinned. So that was my winning idea here. And everything went as I kind of calculated. But here he surprised me. This is the first move I wasn't in my calculations. Now he's attacking my bishop and this pawn. the rook e3 is the best move. But I thought I don't want to bring my rook back because it's attacking this pawn, and this bishop might be weak later if this rook gets somehow attacked and I have to move the rook, then the rook would be hanging. So because of this, I went king to c2, protecting both of these. But why this is a little bit worse is, first of all, the king is not so active here, and the rook is actually so strong in this diagonal, because now if I go here and he starts to untangle with the plan here and here, if he goes for this plan, I have this check, and this is very powerful. If he goes here, I just check, and now he literally have to give up everything. If he blocks with the knight, I will just, this is just losing, so that that's not possible. And if he goes here, what's the move here? Oh yes, this is just too much. And if you try to protect this somehow, then it's just gonna be over very soon. I will just bring in and attack everything, and this would have been a good plan. But I didn't find this during the game, so I went here. Now he gets to play this move. I have the same idea to bring the rook in, but I decided to go here because I was anticipating that he would come here, and in my calculations I had calculated that bishop it takes, king takes, I will go rook bishop to c5 to attack this pawn, because if he takes with the knight, I take with the rook and the pawn is pinned. So that was my idea behind this, and also preparing to play b4 to get rid of these weaknesses on the queen side. So he went there. Now I should mention that this is his worst piece, and taking it is bad. But I had a plan why I did it, so I just couldn't find anything better. And the computer is saying to play the bishop f4, which is very unintuitive for me, because then the opponent will get bishop to f6, attacking both of these, and I didn't even calculate this option. But actually it's much better, because first of all you can sacrifice the exchange apparently, and you just go push these pawns and win. Let's say you go for this, he takes, you take, the knight is hanging, and if the knight moves, the rook is hanging, so he needs to he needs to protect the rook. Then I just go even attack the rook, and if the rook moves, then I just do this or take the, I mean, it's just completely winning. But I couldn't find this in the game, sadly. So I took, he took, and now I realize that this plan just doesn't work because he can just move. So my bishop would be bad here. So that was nonsense. So I decided to put my focus on these two pawns. Moving the bishop from the moving the king away from the bishop's diagonal, so the bishop can join the party. And this knight is very passive, so I still felt that this is a winning game. Coming up with the bishop, bringing the rook back. He wants to have double protected passed pawns, but this is an easy plan to stop. I just put my bishop here. Now he attacks it with the rook, but that's fine because I can just protect. And now this pawn will be lost for sure. I attack it with the rook. He protects, and I attack again. Now this pawn is actually lost. Here he went for this e5 break, which was actually good for him in practical sense, because I blundered on the next move. I blundered all my advantage away. Uh, What I had calculated is just I can just take this pawn. If he push, I just go here. He takes, I take, and I'm just clean pawn up. I will take this, and everything should be fine. But when I took here, it's a blunder because he will come here, and now I just couldn't make this work coming here because I lose the in my calculations I lost the D pawn. Somehow something like this was happening. Whoa, not like this. In my calculations, here. Yeah, somehow I thought that I will lose. Just I will just be worse here, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I just thought that I cannot go this way. Somehow I saw that I will lose. I will lose something, and I don't know why. And also this doesn't work because takes. No, but then I take here, but this is a blunder because he takes first here. Maybe he takes here. I don't know. I just couldn't figure this out. Had already thinked so long, and I don't know what's up with me in this position. I should have just gone here to protect my pieces and take this pawn. Uh, Maybe I was thinking like something. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but I went here, so this pawn wouldn't fall after all these trades. But this is just completely bad because he has the knight b4 check, and what I had thought in if he just goes for the check, then I just attack this knight, and if he takes this, I will take the rook, and everything should be fine. And then if he pushes here, come on, here, 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 I will just take, or if I here, 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 then I have this check, and I will pick up the pawn. So that's fine, and then the knight is still hanging. But of course, if I go here, he just takes my freaking pawn, and now this is just completely losing. My rook is hanging, my other rook is hanging, and he has these strong bones in the center, and just completely bad. I decided to take this, and now I don't have any space for my rook because of this knight check. So these squares are out of reach because of this check. And if I go here, uh, rook to f2 to attack this pawn, he will just push and queen. So that doesn't work. So the only option really I had, I went here. This is not the game, but sorry, this was the best option, but it's still losing. I decided for the last trick because at this point I had calculated that I will have to give up some of the either of the pieces, so I was lost. So I decided to try for one more trick, and that was to play bishop to here. So if he would attack it somehow, I will just try to push this, and now if he takes my rook, I push here, and maybe Maybe I will just hold this somehow. But obviously this doesn't work in many reasons. But it was just one trick to try to. My opponent was a little bit low on time, so just trick to last resort trick before resigning. But of course he has this check. I will have to go somewhere. He takes my rook. I take here. He takes. I push, but this just doesn't. He can just sacrifice the rook for the pawn, and he has passed pawns and the knight, and my king is passive. Just everything. It's just losing. So here, actually, I resign. So a terrible ending for a good game. I had, I was so happy about the game, and I thought I was winning until this moment. I should have just taken this pawn, and well, if he takes, then we trade, and that's fine. Or if he takes, I can take this, and this is completely winning now. I will win probably another pawn, or he needs to trade. I will have 3 against 1, and these are locked in. I will have checks or try to trade the rook. Everything should be winning here. I don't know why I didn't take this pawn and win the game. Just straight up. And he basically has to take, or he just gave up a pawn for free and just go for this end game. These pawns are untouchable, and I can just win the game. But that didn't happen. I lost the game, which is quite sad. And hopefully next time I will be able to do much better. All right. Thanks for that. Thanks for watching. Bye.